What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm bringing you guys another deck profile. Oh my god, it's a profile post January 2020 ban list. January 2020. Interesting. Ever since the ban list dropped, everyone has been saying Orcust is dead, Harp Horror is gone, we don't have the Engage, aka we can't play the Striker engine anymore. But trust me when I say Orcust is not necessarily dead. Now, of course, it's probably not going to be the best deck in the format anymore. It's definitely not going to be as powerful as it once was. But if you guys remember, I've been playing Dark Warrior Orcust. If you guys didn't check out my first video, I mean, I guess there's no point of checking it out now because you guys are checking out this one. But I've been playing Dark Warrior Orcust for a while, and I actually made a way to make this deck work. And I think Orcust is still not dead. I think this is the better way to play it now. And I think now it's just played more of an engine, and you need to get them discarded, so you want to see more, which is why I'm actually playing more Orcust, but I'll show you guys that when I get into the profile. Like always though, if you guys are new to the channel, you guys can check out the Discord for the deck list. I put the deck list always in the Discord, so you guys can check that out. The link will be in the description below, so if you guys want to check that out. And then we'll get right into the video. I want to say, if you guys enjoy these deck profiles, and trust me, for the next week or so, you guys are going to be getting a lot of deck profiles. I have a lot of post ban list profiles to show you guys, so trust me, you guys will be getting a lot. So to start this video off though, we are playing 3 Orcust Nightmare. Okay, so now we have to play 3. The reason you have to play 3 is because Harp is gone, and you guys might be thinking, okay, but Nightmare is a brick in your hand. Well, we place cards to get around Nightmare being a brick in your hand, and the reason you actually want to play 3 now is because you actually need to see it as soon as possible. So I think Orcust Nightmare at 3 is very much necessary now. Another card that's at 3 that's necessary is Symbol Skeleton. Yes, I'm proxying one. I don't have one. I'm sorry. I literally only had the 2. But you do have to proxy the 3rd one. I am playing 3 now. Symbol has always been the worst of the 3, in my opinion, out of like Harp, Horror, Nightmare, and Symbol. I guess it's better than Brass, but Symbol has always been one of the worst ones. But the thing is, you have to play it at 3 now because you need another Orcust name, and this is the only actual Orcust normal summon you have to make Galatea as well as Brass. I might as well show you guys this right now. So Brass I played 2 as well because these 2 you need to see kind of in your opening hand because you want to normal summon it so that you can make Galatea, because you can't afford to just Armageddon die, dump Harp Horror, special one of them, like special the Nightmare, right? So now you have to combo a little bit differently. The thing is, Brass Bombard is actually not horrible at 2 because opening this with Nightmare is actually really good because you'll normal summon this, make Link Karibo, you will banish the Brass Bombard, and then special Nightmare from hand, and then from there you can go into Galatea and then the rest of your combo, right? So that's why I think you need to be playing double Brass now, and triple Symbol just again because it's another normal summon. It's a normal summon you want to play so that if you open a special summon plus Symbol, then you can still make Galatea, right? So you have to kind of max out on these, except for Brass you only play 2. I didn't want to play 3. You could play 3 honestly with you, but I only did want to play 2 because I thought, you know, 2 was necessary, and that's all you really needed. And lastly, we're playing 1 World 1. Now World 1 I wanted to up to 2 if I'm being completely honest with you. I just saw so many times where, you know, because it doesn't have Orcust in the name, it's actually not that great and not as great as you think. If anything, I would keep this at 1 and then maybe play Brass at 2, and I'll show you what you guys can change out. Now keep in mind that this is the first profile and the first list since the ban list, and I'm assuming the best decks are going to be something like Hero, Guru Control, Altergeist, Salamangreat is still going to be pretty good. So these ratios that I'm going to be showing you guys in the profile are according to that, but of course we could change like little numbers around. It's just the core of this is basically what I wanted to show you guys because the core is really what matters and how you get into your combos. So like maybe playing 3 Brass is another thing that you could do, but you have to be playing this, the 3 connector as well as the 1 Aqua Dolphin. Again, Aqua Dolphin is a card that you could play at 2, funny enough, because you can turbo out of sold with this. So definitely we want to play these, and this is a Dark Warrior engine, so you're playing 1 Armageddon Knight, 1 Grepher, triple Malicious. Like I don't need to explain this to you because this all makes sense, right? You need to be playing this. These dump these are extenders for you. These in hand are also really good for you, so that's why I ended up playing these. I mean, the Dark Warriors are the best package in my opinion now that Striker is gone. 3 Junk Forward because again you want to turbo a sold, and double Butter Spy also because you want to turbo a sold. Butter Spy in conjunction with Connector is really good actually, because if you normal Connector and then you chain Butter Spy, what happens is now you can chain block and Connector can't get ashed. Obviously it can still get Veilered and Impermed, but it can't get ashed, right? So that's why I think Butter Spy is also really good because you can chain block and it just helps you make a sold faster. So basically all these cards are to get to a sold as fast as possible, and if you see Connector you have literally a full combo. Like that's how good Connector is, and I showed it in the last video what the combo was, and the combo is still pretty much the same now. It's just what you have to do is you have to get the Nightmare out as soon as possible rather than sending the Harp. But regardless, these are your monsters that you really need. These are your engines basically, so your Orcust engine as well as your Dark Warrior engine, and then we have one final engine which is the Dangers. Yes, I still do play the Dangers. Double Jackalope is important, double Tsuchinoko. Nessie did go to 1, so we are cutting Nessie, but however we added Mothman, Thunderbird, and Bigfoot. So yes, we added 3 more Dangers because Nessie went to 1. The reason for that is because now we have more Orcust and more Orcust that want to be in the graveyard. graveyard, right? So something like Brass, something like Nightmare is in the graveyard, right? We want those in the graveyard. So what the dangers allow you to do is two things. One, if you get to summon them, then you get to draw and it's a free upstart, right? Another thing is like Bigfoot and Thunderbird are utility cards. Like this pops the face up, this pops a face down card, which is really good, like just utility wise. But if you end up summoning them and end up discarding one of your Orcust monsters, then these become beaters for you, right? So the thing is, these are really good and you can't really lose with having the dangers in hand, because whether you end up special summoning it, drawing one, and then pitching an Orcust monster, or whether you end up pitching it and then getting its useful effect off, like even Mothman, right? If you hit the Mothman, you draw one, discard one, you can draw one and then discard an Orcust card, right? So this is why like you up the danger count, because you actually need them more now, because you need the Orcust monsters in your graveyard as fast as possible, and you need more extenders. So that's why I decided to up the danger count. For the hand traps, we are playing triple Ash Blossom and as well as triple Infinite Impermanence. Now I did play a lot more hand traps before, but I think what I ended up doing is I ended up cutting 2 to 3 hand traps to fit in other cards like the dangers, for example. So I'm only playing the 6 hand traps now. Imperm, the reason I really like this is because obviously you want to go first, but imagine opening something like Connector plus like a Junk Forward, right? Or something like that plus an Imperm. So now you can have like a full combo plus an Imperm set behind it, right? So Imperm is really good in that sense. Also, Ash and Imperm give you the ability to go second. So if you don't win the die roll, these are still really good in that sense. So that's what for pretty much the monsters, as well as technically the hand traps. I know Imperm is not a monster, but it's still a hand trap, right? A literal hand trap. So that's it for that. And again, if you guys want to see the full list, it's going to be on the Discord. So if you guys are bothered by seeing all these cards on the mat, don't worry. I usually leave them out so you guys can see the names, so it's easier for you. But if you guys want to check out the full list, it'll be on the Discord. Moving on to spell cards, we are still playing the one Babel. You still need to play it. Obviously, you want to get into it as fast as possible. Playing Babel is really good, obviously, in this deck. Being able to special summon on your opponent's turn and play on your opponent's turn, especially with IP still around, is really good. Now, another card I had to proxy, I'll put it up on the screen because I don't actually have any of them, is 3 Orchestrated Return. Yes, I'm actually playing 3 Orchestrated Return because, like I said earlier, Nightmare wants to be in the graveyard. Symbol wants to be in the graveyard. Brass wants to be in the graveyard. So getting these to the graveyard as fast as possible is very important, which is why I know I play triple. Now, you guys might be saying, oh, but it's only once per turn. Why would you play triple? The reason I want to play triple is because this is a 55 card main deck. So when you play 55 cards, you do want to see one of them still, right? Playing triple in a 55 card deck, you're probably not going to see multiple of these, and you just want to hope to see one of them. So that's why I'm playing triple. Now, why am I not playing Allure? It's just there's not enough dark monsters I want to banish in this deck, right? Something like Neospace Connector, for example, is a light. Armageddon Knight's a dark, but I don't want to banish my Armageddon Knight, of course, right? So, and then the Orcust monsters I also don't want to banish. You need as many Orcust monsters as possible right now in your graveyard and stuff, and you only want to really banish them off their own effects. So that's why I'm not playing Allure, but triple Orchestrated Return, very important in this. I know I didn't get my hands on them yet, don't worry, I will, but the reason is I really wanted to get this profile out to you guys as soon as possible because the Banlist literally just came out like yesterday by the time you guys are watching this video. I wanted to get these profiles out as fast as possible. So if I'm missing cards, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, 3 Orchestrated Return, I think it's necessary now. Then you are playing the mandatory equip spells, Phoenix Blade, Overdone Burial, Living Fossil, as well as the Noble Arm. So you're playing these 4. These are the 4 you're going to usually send off of Isolde. Now if you draw one of them, it's okay because we are playing double DDR. Now you still want to play double DDR. Again, this is 6 and not 5, and I know the standard ratio is 5. The reason I actually like playing 6 is because DDR gets you a pitch from your hand and then a special from your banish. So again, if you top deck, like let's say you have this in your hand and you let's say top deck a Nightmare into like the mid to late game, right? Then what you can end up doing is activating this, pitching the Nightmare, and then special summoning like let's say a Brass from your banish pile or an Armageddon Knight from your banish pile, right? Because you can banish it off a Phoenix Blade. So then that's where it becomes really good. So that's why I actually really like DDR at 2, and I don't mind drawing this one. If there's any of them that I want to draw, it would be this one. So that's why it's like, okay, don't mind playing double of these. And again, if I draw one or if I draw one of these other ones, then I can pitch the other one, right? So I just want this to be live because this is actually really good for me in the mid to late game. Another card that we're playing is still triple Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is really important in this deck. It allows you to make different plays, like something like Raging, so you can make it sold, something like Thousand Eyes going second, something like Winda, because you can still make the Winda plays in this deck. So Instant Fusion is really good in that sense. Foolish, of course, is an extender for you pretty much. Monster Reborn is really important. It's just an extender, and it's also like can help you win and go for game and whatnot. So Monster Reborn, 1 Rhoda for Connector or Armageddon Knight or whatever you need to see at that moment. And then the last 2 cards I'm playing is 2 main deck Twin Twister. I decided to main deck Twin Twister only because I know Guru and Altergeist are going to be really relevant, and I don't want to lose to them game 1s. Like I really want to be able to win game 1s. So playing Twister in the main deck is really good in that sense, because if you end up not playing against a deck that uses a lot of back row, you can always side these out, and it's only a 2 of, right? So even if you see 1, it won't be the worst thing in the world. The thing is, it's like when you play 2, again, it's a 55 card deck, you're probably not going to see 1 all the time, but I did want to have the chance of like, hey, I'm playing against Guru and I lost die roll. If I open Twister though, I'm still good, right? In that sense. So that's why I did want to play these. But again, I said earlier in the video, like like what would you take out for like a second brass or a second aqua dolphin, this is what I would take out. If you took out one of these for one, like the third brass, that would probably be the best way to go about it. Otherwise, like I would play the twisters, but these are the cards I would remove. Otherwise, I think the ratios of everything else are good. If you play like a third brass, I guess it makes return a little bit more live as well, so you could do it that way. But I just wanted to make everything as live as possible, and I didn't want to brick at all, so this is why the ratios are what they are. Twin twister also is a discard, so if you are going second and you do open the twister, like being able to twister your opponent's like back row and then also pitching like a nightmare while you're at it, or pitching like something like a brass bomb or die while you're at it is really good in that sense. So that's why I really like twin twister, and that's it for the main deck. It is a 55 card main deck. For the extra deck, obviously you are playing one Isolde, the best card in your extra deck. Honestly, this deck is literally Isolde Turbo with like the Orcust package, so Isolde is really important in this deck. Double Galatea, because you do make two of these, as well as one Dingirsu. I'm telling you, if they really wanted to kill this deck, they would hit Galatea to 0, but they know that Girsu is coming out, the new Orcust monster, and they didn't want to kill the deck. I'm telling you, they just wanted to put it in its place and put it in check, and so Hard Power to 0 does put it in check to a certain extent, but the deck is still very much playable, right? So you still want to play these ratios. The extra deck I don't think changes much from my last video. Barricade Board Blocker, so you can discard a card from your hand, as well as just it's a generic link too. IP Masquerena, because the IP plays, the combo is pretty much still the same as it used to be, so you still want to play the IP. Phoenix, one Nightmare Unicorn, because like you can IP into Unicorn. You can also just hard make Unicorn in this deck really easily, so that's why I really like the Unicorn still there. I don't think you know play it. One thing I did change was Borreload into Trisbana. Colossus is gone now, and you're never gonna have to deal with Colossus, so Trisbana is really good because again, the back row decks are going to be more relevant now, and you can make Trisbana really easily in this deck, especially being able to make Trisbana with IP, so now it can't be destroyed by card effect, makes it like insanely good. So Trisbana has a lot of auto win against a lot of things. Link Karibo, because there's a play, like I said, you normal summon Brass, you link it away into Link Karibo. This is like if you absolutely brick, you can normal summon Brass, link it away into Link Karibo, and then use Brass effect to summon like a Nightmare, a Symbol in your hand, then you can use Symbol and Link Karibo to make Galatea, something like that. So that's why you still need to play the one Link Karibo. One Apollo, because the Dark Warrior engine lets you make this really easily. IP can also technically make this on your opponent's turn, which isn't bad. One Boros Sword, because this deck literally is Borosword.deck. So you make your first turn combo. If your opponent can't break it, then you make Boros Sword, next turn you win. And then for the fusion monster, we are playing one Raging. Like this is the warrior that you make for Isolde. It's also not bad because it Book of Moons, right? One El Shaddai Winda. Winda is the combo. Like you don't really make this too often. If you need an extra monster, you can. But otherwise, like you make this with Ding, because you can still make that combo. And Winda Ding is still really strong, as well as 1000 Eyes. 1000 Eyes obviously just lets you go second and win games, right? So 1000 Eyes is really good. It baits out negates and whatnot. So I like this ratio. This extra deck I think is perfect. I wouldn't change anything. The only thing is like maybe you can fit a second Dingirsu somewhere, but I don't know. I really like the one. You don't need more than one, honestly, because the rest of these cards, like after you make the first one for your first turn, you're just going to be winning next turn anyway. So that's why I only play the one Dingirsu. Going off to the side deck, I'm actually going to be showing you guys a side deck for a lot of these post ban list videos, and the reason for that is because I want to show you what the new meta is going to probably be looking like and how you can counter it. The meta is probably going to be Salamangre, Altergeist, Guru, Spiral, and Hero. So Nibiru obviously counters Spiral as well as counters Hero. This is going to be really good. It's not bad against Salamangre either. I don't think they have as much recovery as they did before. So Nibiru I think still is a 3 of, is very important. I think you don't want to change that whatsoever. But I am playing the Gamma Seals as well as 2 Raging. Now I want to be able to break my opponent's boards going second, and especially against like the hero boards, right? So you side this in against heroes, and if they make Plasma on you, it's actually pretty difficult to out. Not saying you can't out it in this deck, but these just make it a little bit easier for you to out in that sense. So that's why I am playing the Raging as well as the double Gamma Seal. I'm also playing the one Pankatrop, rest in peace Pankatrops. I don't know why it's at 1. I kind of want to cut this, and I'll show you guys why I want to cut this in a second. But for the spell cards, I am playing 2 Mind Control. This is good for going second. If you are forced to go second, Mind Control is really, really good, and against combo decks as well. So I still like to play 2. I know it was one of my favorite cards. It went from 3 to 2. I don't care. I'm still going to play 2. Now, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, I am playing 2 as well. There's nothing really stopping anything from being destroyed by card effect nowadays. So Slumber is actually not bad against those big combo decks that put up big boards, unless they put up like really big negates, right? But the thing is, at the end of the day, Slumber can either bait out a negate, you have other cards to bait out a negate, and then like Slumber could just beat them in that sense. So that's why I really like this. Now, Pankatrops, I was thinking maybe take out Pankatrops and play a 4th Kaiju. So 2 Raging, 1 Gamma Seal, maybe like 1 Humongous or one of the 3000 attack ones. And the only reason I say that is because it makes Slumber a little bit more alive. Because if you see this, it's really good to break your opponent's boards. But obviously, if you see the Kaiju, it's not bad either. This is as a 1-of. Like, I don't know if I want to play as a 1-of. That's the thing with it. So maybe I take this out for a 4th Kaiju. Again, we'll see where the meta progresses and then where this deck can go. But this is what I think is good right now. And this is what I think could be really relevant. And then obviously little things can be changed. Double Cosmic Cyclone as well as the third Twister. Yes, so I am playing the third Twister because 2 in the main and then 2 Cosmic Cyclone. It's a lot of back row hate, but you gotta play the back row hate now, especially going second against something like Guru or against Altergeist. If Guru can flip, there can only be one on you. You're in a bad situation. If Altergeist can flip a lot of like good trap cards, good floodgates, whatever it is on you, you're in a bad situation. So you want to play this. And then lastly, for the trap decks, you want to play the 1-odd red reboot. The thing is, you have to play the 1-odd red reboot against those control decks, which are going to be very relevant now. Red reboot is going to be very much needed, and it sucks that it's at 1 because Konami made these back row decks really, really good and then hit reboot to 1, which doesn't make sense in my opinion, but I guess they wanted to make the back row decks good. I don't know, but reboot at 1 is very important. The only thing I would say I would change is, again, the Pankatrops for like maybe a 4th Kaiju. The other thing is, if you don't want to main the Twisters, maybe you could take out reboot and the Pank for the 2 Twisters here and then main deck something else. This side deck has been working for me online, and this is what, like, in theory looks pretty good. Obviously things can be changed. If you guys have suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below, obviously, but this is what I think is pretty good for now, and obviously little tweaks can be changed. We'll see where it goes. So thank you guys for watching the video. I hope this video showed you that Orcust is not dead yet. I mean, I don't think it's going to be one of the best decks, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sitting here telling you that, oh my god, Orcust is still tier 1, tier 0, but this deck is definitely not dead, and it's still very playable. The Dark Warrior engine also makes it really fun and really consistent. Again, if you don't even see your Orcust cards, you just go Dark Warrior combo, right? And there's nothing wrong with Dark Warrior combo. It's still a really good combo. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you guys did enjoy, and consider subscribing. The goal for 2020 is 10,000. Let's see if we can make it there. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, guys, it's Spanko signing out.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit.